look at that grey day. Look at it. Awful. Anyway, I'm Lorien. I'm a tarot reader and general busybody in the way of the occult. I'm here to bring you your monthly tarot readings for your individual signs. Thank you so much for those who have actually subscribed. I wanted to give a personal note to you for that. And also, if you'd like any more general, sorry about that, bird flew past. If you'd like a personal reading, please get in touch with me. If you have any spiritual questions, I'm always on hand. Please don't hesitate to get in touch. And hopefully I'll have a video camera next week. So more readings to come. Okay Capricorn, let me take a look into what's coming up for you for the month of June. The deck I'm using is the Druidcraft Tarot, of which is very personal to me and my practice. It gives me a lot of insights into what's coming up, gets the general feel of what's going on around you as well. So the first 4 cards represent each week of June, approximately 7 days of energy, and then the bottom card is that of the overall energy seeping through. So if you look at all these 4 cards, almost in a storytelling sense, it seems to gain more meaning, at least to me, and being a writer I kind of have this storytelling thing going on. And we have in the first card a solitary person harvesting or cutting mistletoe. It's a bit derelict perhaps in setting, but perhaps things are just beginning to change. You see the reeds coming up through the snow there, and then in the second card we see the person in the same hood, or at least I would interpret it as the same hood, performing a spell. The snake of transformation in the background. Maybe they've put the herb they collected in the cauldron for the spell, or to harness the power of that herb. And then in the third card with the princess, she's actually drinking the concoction, and the image is now that of a more youthful, blossoming person. The green cloak is now giving way to that sliver of red that we saw in the second card, almost like that part of her, much like a snakeskin, is shedding away, becoming unburdened. And then in the last card we have almost like balance restored. So that woman is now part of a beautiful family. Her clothes are warm, it's completely transformed, and she's sharing this secret concoction with her loved ones and having a grand old time. This, I believe, is the story for your month. I've never actually seen a continuation like this actually before, but just as I was sitting here looking at all the cards, I was a bit like, there's a progression here, people. They're telling me this for a reason. So let's have a look and see what this can come up with in particular for you Capricorns. So we start off with the 7 of Pentacles, which always is a welcome card in my eyes. While the hard work is still going on from the previous month of May, you may finally begin to see some reward for the work you've done for yourself, on yourself, and for others. Of course, there's still be the matter of taking care of it and really trying to connect with what's coming up in many ways, but you still have an opportunity to pluck the best of what's around you and now make use of that. It also, in this card, asks you to look what's around you and what you can or cannot use to your benefit. The person in this card picks only the best of the herb to use in the potion, and if you follow the story, above, perhaps that is what you have to do. You have to pick the best of what you have around you in order to use that and make sure it's only the good stuff that you're bringing into your life. Sort out what you must let go and what's the most prominent positive thing to go ahead with, so you don't spread yourself a bit too thin. Now, death is not a scary card to see, and definitely not in this second week when you think about it in terms of the transformation you're going through and the process of removing the dead wood in order to better your situation and further your own personal year of growth. If you add the quality of the things you've kept and put that into your own mix or brand of happiness and stir, in this week you have the opportunity to look forward to where you're going and redefine it in many ways. You could look at yourself and understand what needs to change and then shed that mask or skin. And it could also be a case of freedom and connecting with you personally, with who you are inside, So I would release the pressures of what's gone before, and now you're in your most transformational stage. You'll be able to come out of not only the gloom but also Mercury retrograde, because this goes back direct this week in this second card. So you will be able to really push through to a new stage of being in many ways. It seems to be very multifaceted. So you've gone through the first 2 weeks, you've still been under the Mercury retrograde gloom, and in many ways you may be kind of stocking up the good stuff and using that. So it's going to be kind of a slow process, but in the third week, when you basically turn into the Princess of Cups, male or female, through having done that personal work in the first 2 weeks, you will then be able to feel regenerated. So shedding that skin is almost like going back to your core self and releasing yourself from outside pressures to make you feel youthful again. Even if it's a pressure that you put on yourself, you will be able to release that now. It's a sense of a deep emotional refreshment here. And the princess's particular message is that of being open to new things. Perhaps for some of you Capricorns, you were feeling a little steeped in stubbornness or being a bit more introverted than usual in that sense. And with this renewal, you can welcome the emotional tenderness of something new or a refreshed tenderness for those around you. You may have a sense that if you apply yourself, you can really follow your dreams for the year now, or you might hear some good news. I think there could be some good news coming for you in this month, which makes you understand that all your hard work was definitely worth it. Because we're all vibrational beings, I think it's very important that you do this, because the vibration you're at the moment may be attracting things you don't want. Why have I got this again? Why has this happened? Change it up a bit. And it seems like that's what you're doing, to be honest. It's your imagination coming out to play. So if you're into meditation, this could also be a very good week to get those kinds of juices flowing. See where your mind wants to take you, where things seem to unfold, and get a grip in what your unconscious wants you to know. And with the sense of renewed or certainly increased emotional bonds, the Ten of Cups in the 4th week seems to show that this month's transformation from frozen in, boxed in, seemingly cold, to open and warm and being generous is very gratifying. And this should assist you in making the bonds between you and your loved ones even closer, whether these are new relationships or already established ones. This card to me, the way it's speaking and the way it's moving, indicates a promise of something which is coming through for you now. And you might understand that, or have a feeling that this is not as fleeting as you thought it might be or feared it might be. So now you've opened yourself up and you've become trusting and open. You may have the chance to go the distance, or certainly close the distance between those around you. You could draw people in now that you've kept at arm's length. It's basically a card to ensure you can make your emotional state a long and happy one overall. You can unite with your family, unite with the friends that you call your family. This month overall isn't really one of work or love or money. It's the message here is all about the inner you. And I believe that you have to pay attention to that in a greater sense. Maybe you have abandoned the inner you in many ways. Even in the overall card, the Four of Pentacles indicates that you let your inner emotions out. So again, it's all about inner work rather than external influences. Let the person who's inside free. You may have locked them away in favour of being able to survive in the current climate or the harsh world currently around us. But you don't need to be afraid of losing a sense of security or rootedness. I know it settles your mind, little earthy Capricorn, because sometimes you need to feel the other elements which are there too. You will have the chance not to open Pandora's box, but open something inside which may need to have some tender loving care rather than being shut away and forgotten. That's the sense that you're doing this anyway. You will be in the process of doing it. This month is very key. It seems like it's going to be a set-up month for the rest of the year, and it's the perfect time to do it. get it done now, and then the rest of the year, the last 6 months of 2015, can be used to harness your inner power and the love of those around you. It seems to be asking you here, not telling, because you don't have to take this advice and you don't have to go with the signs that this is going to come around you. But I think that you need to sort of let your inner pixie free. That's just the phrase that's come to mind. I don't know why. But for those of you who have been a bit more serious, a bit more grounded, overworked, underpaid in some cases, have their potential overlooked, had their hard work interpreted as somebody else's, wronged in any way, for those who have been, I just feel like you've been trodden on a little bit, and this is now a time that you can cut away the friends that don't appreciate you. You can cut away the fears of not being used or not having your potential realised, and go forth with it. You should be in the process now of unlocking the potential deep down inside, or certainly unlocking a part of yourself that you haven't let out to play in quite a while. It's very good to understand that work is something that's needed to put money on the table, but play is something to appreciate life. You need to learn to work to live, not live to work. And it's just kind of that balance here. It's about embracing what's out there, and it looks to me like you're going to do very well in that respect, and I would love to know how you get on with this, because overall it seems like you are going to feel much lighter when it comes to July. I'm quite looking forward to hearing about it, actually. As always, if you'd like a personal one-to-one reading with me, don't hesitate to get in touch. I would be more than happy to look into what's coming up for you in greater detail. You can take a look at how to purchase a reading from my Etsy shop, or even just email me if you like. But in general, my dear Capricorns, you are approaching a month which seems to be full of personal discovery, and I'm quite jealous in a way. But in the meantime, take care, and I'm wishing you all the best for a happy, prosperous June.